The energies of this next quarter are gonna rock. Come join us and watch our tarot and astrology mashup for April, May, and June of 2024. Stacey, the Black Feather Intuitive. So excited to be doing the second quarter tarot and astrology reading with my fabulous cohort, Dwayne from In the Stars. Thank you, Dwayne, for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really kind of pumped because when we did our January through March,
Mhm.
and we did that, I think in December, we started that at the end of December, we
Yeah.
did the recording of it. I was kind of like, okay, I don't know if people are really going to like this reading or not. You know, we're just kind of winging it and we'll see what happens. And I've been getting so many positive reviews and feedback, and people really, quite frankly, Dwayne, people love us. So
They
I think
do.
there's something to this, right?
Absolutely. I think it's because we love people too.
Yes, yes, absolutely. We got a good energy and we actually care. Although some days I'm like, okay, I just can't. I'm shutting down. I was just sharing with Dwayne earlier because we're filming this a little earlier than the April energy, and I'm in a funk. I'm in a funk today, and part of it is because we're in Pisces season right now. So I'm just like, okay, I'm so over the water seasons for me. I don't want
Yeah.
water stuff because it's just too much.
The bad
But
thing is the emotions. The good thing is the intuition. So we have a good side to it too. So just keep that in mind. Even when you're feeling like crap during this Pisces season, if you need to know what someone's really, what their real desires are, what they're wanting from you or to give to you or take from you, you'll feel it this time.
okay, well, that's good. There's got to be some reward to this.
Yeah, there's always a silver lining, right?
Yes, I will take it. I will take it. So, we are going to be tapping into the second quarter of 2024. That is the April, May, and June. And just like our last reading, I've chosen a really cool deck that I'm going to be pulling cards from, the Sacred Spirit reading cards from Anna Stark. And then, of course, for our quarter, we're also at the end going to pull a Sweet Ass Affirmations card to keep us vibing high and to give us, I want to say, kind of a focus or a mantra that we can connect to throughout this 3-month cycle. So without further ado, Dwayne, I'm going to pull a card and get us started on what we kind of need to know about April and what's going to be coming through for us.
All right.
Ooh, interesting. So we've got Guardian, guard your energy. So what I'm really kind of tapping into here with April is because we have been going through this major shift and this major transformation, especially the first quarter of 2024, and people have been feeling the energy and there's a lot of momentum. What I'm feeling now is it's kind of like we were all like we were all indoors, we were all stuck inside, and now everybody's coming out, and it's like we have to relearn how to be with one another. We have to relearn how to protect our own energies. We need to relearn how to engage with others' energies as well. So the Guardian coming through in this wolf spirit, I feel, is really important because it's not so much about the lone wolf. Wolves run in packs, but they also have that quality of being able to go off and do their own thing and then come back and rejoin the pack, doing things for the pack. So I feel like from an energy perspective, we all really need to kind of tap into that and recognize, what energy am I bringing into the room? What energy am I bringing to the table right now? And recognizing that there are other people who are bringing a different kind of energy. I'm also hearing the word alchemy. I feel like, you know, I'm all about transformation. I'm always about alchemy, but I'm hearing that alchemy is what we need in April, because when you're taking your energy and you're bringing awareness to your energy and you're running into other people, you know, you can't really predict how another person is going to react or respond to you. You don't really know necessarily what's going to transpire. So that's where the alchemy is important. You know where your energy's at. Be present with what is coming into your path, and then figure out how you want to alchemize what they're bringing to you, because you have that power. You have that ability. This is not about giving away your power. This is not about, I want to say, just sort of throwing caution to the wind and allowing what will be to be, even though that's typically what I would say is go with the flow. This feels more like, when it's presented to you, recognize that you're a co-creator. Recognize that you get to choose how you engage with that energy. I'm also getting that, and we'll see what you have to say on this, Dwayne, but I'm getting that there's something coming up in the corporate sector that's going to be kind of a big shakeup. It feels like, and I don't want to put fear, this isn't a dun dun dun, everybody's going to lose their jobs kind of situation, but I would say to you, there's going to be quite a shakeup. And I feel like this shakeup it's going to be a bit shocking. And then it's really necessary that everyone kind of, I want to say, gather together and decide, okay, how do we want to fix this? Like, how do we want to shift this moving forward? Because whatever we decide and however we decide collectively to sort of reorganize, that is going to affect future generations. So understand that here in April, we have the opportunity to lay a new foundation. And so we don't want to be thinking about, OMG, how is this affecting me? Poor, pitiful me, poor us. Look at what we're losing, or look at what is, being shifted, and I liked it better the other way. No, it's time for us to pull our heads out of our proverbial butts and really recognize we have an opportunity right now with this situation to make it better for those that are coming ahead of us. There are so many people with the mentality of, why should I care about them? I need to worry about me. And I feel like this is an invitation. Yes, protect your energy, but understand that you are part of a pack. And we need to be concerned about those that are coming after us as well. And keep in mind, if you believe in the concept of reincarnation, you're the one who's coming afterwards. You just don't know it yet. You don't know in what form. So I leave that with you guys to kind of think about when this stuff is coming up and coming through. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be, like I said, I feel like there's a bit of a shocking quality to it. And yet, hang on to your hats, be centered in your core and say, how can I help? How can I help? All right, Dwayne, take it over.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of the stuff you said is right where I'm at too. And so April, of course, starts with Aries and it goes into Taurus. Aries is ruled by the head. And so a lot of times during that time, we're kind of stuck within ourselves. What about me? Like you were saying, what's my place? How does this affect me? The interesting thing about early April is there's some amazing astronomical events happening. So April 8th, there's a new moon, and the moon is going to be located at the same side of the earth as the sun. So there will be no moon that day or that night, so you can see the stars and the planets. The weird thing is that on April 8th as well, there is a total solar eclipse. The last time it happened is 2017, and the next time will be 2045. So this is a once in a lifetime event for some people, and it's going to make things very interesting. So the fact that there's so much going on with the moon and the sun at that time of beginning of April, and we're in Aries, which is about the head, the me. What I always say about Aries is, with Aries, they tend to be a very military sign. They're ruled by Mars, which is the planet of war. And by military, I mean, usually an Aries thinks, if you're on my side, then we're a team. If you're not on my side, then you must be destroyed. So what can happen is, especially when it comes to the corporate sector or work environment, if somebody gives you the inclination that they are not on your side or they're not working for your better outcome, that they could be against you. What I'm going to say is to be very weary of that, because don't take that as the absolute at this time. Normally, if there wasn't this stuff happening with the moon and the sun, that would be fine to go with. But because of this moon and sun event happening, what's happening is we are all going to be together. Even subconsciously, when these things happen outside of our planet, it brings us all together. It makes us realize how small this planet is and how small the population really is, and how connected we really are. So I'm going to say that the first part of October and through the majority of it, let's say 3/4 of April, is going to be all about realizing the connectedness that we have on the planet, and the connectedness that we have with our coworkers, with our family, with our friends, and seeing little blips in that desire to do things for you, with you, or to help your outcome is not necessarily an indicator that they are an enemy. It's just the fact that everybody is in that same kind of mindset. So just keep that in mind. I think that's the most important thing to keep in mind for the majority of April. Now, when we get toward the end of April, we get into Taurus, which is the throat, the speaking things that you really feel, home, creating home, feeling comfortable, living a good life, enjoying things like food and wine and that type of a thing. So when we get out of Aries, you're going to see that connectedness really become apparent, and the desire for people to want to be together and create things together. So, and then on the 22nd and 23rd of April, there's the Lyrids meteor shower. So that's going to be interesting. It depends on where you're going to be, but it's 20 meteors per hour at its peak. So that's going to be an interesting astral event that you guys can witness. And when that happens, what it does is it brings about a comfort, and that in Taurus, it brings around comfort feelings. So make sure that you understand that if you're feeling a little bit out of place, beginning of April through 3/4 of the way, at some point soon will come this comfort, this kind of a blanket, if you will, of comfort. So it's going to be good.
The word I keep hearing is belonging. Would you say that there's also a belonging in the comfort of it? What is it about the asteroid or the meteor shower that creates that for us? I'm very curious, because I know we've just gone through a major solar flare, chunk of time that has really affected a lot of us, especially those of us who are sensitive. How is this going? I mean, I love the comfort, but why is it comfort? Why is it belonging?
Because it's happening in the time of Taurus, especially in the beginning. And Taurus is really a sign, it's an earth sign. It's a sign of groundedness, of creating things and practicality. And so when an asteroid shower, meteor shower happens, what's happening is it's hundreds of things kind of coming to our planet, and not even, it's not like they're going to hit the earth. The reason that we see them is because they burn up in the atmosphere. And so basically our outer protective layer is being pelted, and so we kind of go into this feeling of, okay, are we safe? Do we feel okay? And when you're outer, like almost like little pebbles being thrown at your skin, and when that happens, you start to kind of go inside and protect yourself. And so that's why we as a planet end up becoming more kind of insular and understanding how connected we are. So we feel, we go into that connectedness in April, but we really feel it at the end of April and in the beginning of May.
Thank you for that explanation. I have never heard about that or seen it in that way, and you just explained it beautifully. I'm sure everyone watching that is going, oh my God, because that's how I think about it. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of times whenever anything happens outside of the planet, it's my feeling that our planet is our body. It's our collective body. And so when anything happens to it, when it becomes dark, when it becomes light, when it becomes, our collective body reacts, and we feel that.
Yeah. Well, as you said, we're all connected, and we're all connected to one another in sort of the human race, but we're also all connected to all the little creatures and all of the systems and the the cycles that that Mother Earth provides that we take for granted, or that we just completely are oblivious to. You know, I think about the ocean is the great untapped frontier. You know, that's the last thing for us to sort of explore, and we're just starting, you know, to get into that space. So that's fascinating. I love that. So moving on to May, we've got cosmic ancestors. Voice your concerns. So first of all, I have to point out, look at the card that we've got. It's very, very cosmic, right?
Yeah.
And so it kind of ties in with what you were just saying.
It's beautiful.
But I'm also feeling like here, the voice your concerns. In May, I feel like there's going to be a lot of chatter. I feel like there's going to be a lot of static and noise. People feeling like they need to be heard and they're not being heard. So they're going to, you know, what do we say, that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So you're going to have people getting frustrated with not being seen and not being heard, and maybe being more reactive to that. Maybe being a bit out of character, people doing things that aren't, I want to say, aren't normal to their usual MO or their usual routine. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, because I feel like collectively what is being encouraged is this idea that we all matter. What I'm feeling is not everyone is on a self-awareness journey. And so that, you know, verbal, sometimes it can be verbal diarrhea, sometimes it can be misdirected, pointed at the wrong person or the wrong people. So I feel like the message for you guys watching this is to be very considered about your words. It's not holding back. I don't feel like that's the message, because it is saying voice your concerns. So speak your truth, speak what is coming up for you. Pick and choose, I want to say read the room, right? Like pick and choose the right time, pick and choose your battles, so to speak, but don't hold back. I feel like with those of us who are on a self-awareness journey, we can mitigate and sort of neutralize some of the effect that is going to occur by others in our environment who are not on that self-awareness journey. It's not a judgment, it's just recognition that some people live in a lower vibrational energy naturally and normally, and so they don't have the conscious awareness of what it is that they're saying and what it is that they're doing. So I'm always talking about, you know, reaction versus response, and this is a good description of that. I'm getting a hit about personal relationships in May being a focal point, or being having a spotlight put on them in our individual lives. So this is going to be an opportunity to improve your relationships. I don't feel like I'm getting a message to say, you know, hold back and don't say what you need to say in these relationships. What I'm actually feeling is anything that really does need to be said, the opportunity is going to present itself. And for those of you who, you know, sort of connect with the angelic realm, I would say this is a perfect opportunity to connect with your angels, the archangels, and to say, speak through me when I don't have the right words, right? I know this needs to be said. I know that this conversation is coming up, or the opportunity to have this conversation is coming up, because it needs to be had. It needs to be said in order for us to be able to grow through this and get closer together, that bonding, and that, you know, we are all one and we are connected, but maybe I'm a little nervous about my words. So tap into that. If you're not an angel person, what I would say is really connect to the energy of what is around you. Use your resources. I'm going to use the word alchemy again. Remember, we are all alchemizers. We all are co-creators of our lives. We can co-create without awareness, or we can co-create with awareness. And so this is the invitation. And what you're co-creating, what we speak becomes. What we think becomes in little ways, but when we speak it, boom, there it is. So pay attention to the opportunities you're going to have to grow in your relationships and to make those bonds better, deeper, more connected. All right, Dwayne, there you go.
Wow, that's great. Well, yeah, we start out May in Taurus, like we did at the end of April, and May 8th is the new moon, and that is the best time to switch things up. You're going to be feeling that comfort. You're going to be feeling that that energy of home, of building a relationship, all of that stuff. But it's funny that you said speaking and communication, because on May 9th, Mercury is at the greatest western elongation, and that means that it's far away from our planet, and that means that since Mercury is Gemini, and that's the planet of communication, it doesn't jumble our thoughts and our speech patterns. And so it's the best time, May 9th, to really get those things out that you need to say, because Taurus also is the sign of perfectionism, always looking for things to be perfect, which, as we know, nothing is perfect. And really the journey of trying to make things perfect can be really taxing. And so it's not necessary to worry about what you're saying being perfect, only that you get out what you need to say. And when you do that, what happens is this comfort comes over you, and this feeling of, okay, I can move forward. Now, that's to say, if you are a Taurus, you are a bull, and nobody's going to get in your way anyway. So you're going to say and do whatever you want, but know that May 9th and May 10th is going to be your optimum time to get things out clearly and to get things across to people in a way that will achieve the perfect outcome, which is for them to know how you feel. Whether it's said perfectly or not, it's going to feel comfortable, and you're going to feel an amazing comfort afterwards. And the focus should really be at that time on, again, your connection to the people around you, your family, and really, I'd say, kind of celebrating the beauty of those things, as opposed to looking at maybe one person in the family who you're not communicating great with, or you're not getting along with, whatever. Realize what the beauty of that relationship is. Don't focus on the negative part or the lacking part. Notice the 9 other parts of the 10 parts that are good. So that's the overall for May, is really comfort, speech, and really celebrating the beauty, the beautiful parts, and not worrying about the parts that are not absolutely perfect.
I love that. Perfection is one of the grand illusions of this world. And, you know, if you really try to quantify what perfection is, you discover very quickly that it's subjective. It changes from day to day. I learned that years ago in my singing career, because I am a perfectionist. So I know of this, I know of which I speak very well. But I had to learn, because my perfectionism was shutting down the creative flow. When I was singing, I was trying to make it technically perfect. And quite frankly, I go see shows all the time. When I'm sitting in the audience, I'm not looking for technically perfect. I'm looking for someone that moves me, someone that involves me in the story or involves me in the emotion of it. So it's been a great lesson for me over the years to recognize that you can't even really quantify perfection. I can sing something perfectly one night and sing it entirely different the next night. And you could call it a perfect performance that way too, but it's entirely different. So I really like that you brought that up about that perfectionism. So that's really interesting, especially when we're talking about voice your concerns. For those of you who are conflict avoidant, this is a great reminder that what you say doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to just come from the heart. And like I said, call in your dream team for support if you are worried about how it's going to come out, or stumbling over your words, and just really be in the space of, you know what, this is how I'm feeling and this is the way it is. There's
a great Buddhist story. I don't know the exact story anymore, but I'm sure if you look it up, you can find it out there if you're interested. And it's about a teapot that gets broken and somebody wants to throw that teapot away. And the Buddhist monk says, no, don't throw that teapot away. It is now completely original. It has its own cracks that no other teapot can ever have. And so if you fix that teapot and it still works, it's a completely original teapot. So it's an amazing story that I did not capture in that little quip, but that's the idea behind it. And I think it's amazing.
I love that. There's a Japanese tradition with the gold in the ceramic cup.
Yeah, that's
Idea
beautiful.
that
Yeah.
and I love how you're saying that it's its own original work. And what do we say all the time? You know, our scars show our character. It shows
Mhm.
that we've lived. I have a friend who used to say, I've earned each of these wrinkles, you know, because it shows that I've lived. It shows that I've laughed. It shows that
Yeah.
I've had experience. I love that. Ooh, May is going to be a great month for all.
Yeah.
I want to say that really internal shift that I think a
Yeah,
lot of us are motivated to be in right now.
definitely.
So June, we've got, oh, this is great. Light codes, travel awaits you. And I've got to point out that it's a 24, which numerologically is a 6. And 6 has been, it's harmony, balance, and alignment. This has been an energy that has been permeating throughout 2024. And June is the 6th month. So I have to kind of point that out first because numbers affect our energy. Numbers give us clues. And when we're talking about light codes, this is the downloads, peeps. I feel like June is going to be a huge download month. So don't be surprised if your sleep is disrupted. Don't be surprised if you are, you know, heading in one direction and you're feeling really confident and really good about it. And all of a sudden you get an inspiration and you go, I don't know why I'm getting this, but I feel like I need to go, you know, do a 180 or I need to do a 90 or even a 45. And I don't know why. If you listen to it and you follow it, you're going to find out why, because there's something on the other side of that shift that is there to help you. The travel awaits you piece, I feel like it's, yes, a lot of people are going to be traveling in June. You don't need to be psychic to know that. That's just kind of part of our culture. But I would say that the travel that's awaiting you is more of an internal journey. And notice, this is the 3rd month in a row where I've been talking a lot about our internal environment. So I feel like this quarter is very focused on how we are shifting on the inside based on what we're interacting with and engaging with on the outside. And so the travel awaits you feels very much like you're going to be taking some nighttime journeys, some dream journeys. You're going to be traveling within, doing some deep dives. I don't feel like this is Dark Night of the Soul stuff. If you happen to be someone who's going through that, my heart goes out to you because it's not fun, but trust that you will get to the other side of it. But in general, I feel more like this is intentional journeying within to say, what is no longer working? What feels like it wants to shake itself loose? Pay attention to that, because that's the kind of travel that you're doing. It's an internal travel where you're going to be exploring parts and aspects of yourself that you've never seen before, that you've never connected to before, or you're traveling in the next layer or the next level. We are all our own contained universe. And every single one of our cells in our body is its own contained universe within our universe. Right? We could do a whole, you know, like the fun house, the mirrors room in the fun house. Like it's just, it goes on, it's endless, right? It's fractal. It's a sacred geometry energy. And I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen here. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of 3D stuff. There is going to be 3D travel. There's going to be a lot of sun. You know, a lot of people are going to be doing the beach and doing the mountains and going places and all of that jazz. Understand that wherever you go, there you are. And so that's what this feels like. The travel is going to occur in those little universes within the body, and with you as a self-contained universe interacting with other self-contained universes. What are you seeing? And I always like to say, oh, the places you'll go, right? Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you'll go only if you're being intentional about paying attention. to what's coming up and coming through for you. I feel like every one of us, and this is so funny because I'm really not a fan of journaling. I figure it out. I do it in my own way. It's not normally my thing, but I feel like every one of us should be walking around with a journal or have our little, notes app or whatever app you've got on your phone. And every day, just kind of writing out maybe a stream of consciousness for a couple of minutes about what you're feeling, noticing, sensing internally, because you're shifting. And June is going to bring about a lot of awareness to either what needs to be shifted or awareness to the fact that the shift is happening in real time based on where you're at in that journey. I want to say, go with the flow, be in flow, but also be really intentional about the awareness of where you're at. The downloads and the light codes, for some of you, what you might notice is a little bit of dizziness, a little bit of feeling a little off balance from time to time. Don't worry, you're not sick. Nothing major is going on in terms of your health. It's an energetic shift. Downloads also happen on a very regular basis when you get that high-pitched, sort of sound, a frequency buzz. It can happen in both ears, one ear more so than the other, or it can happen, left or right. Just understand that is your guides, your group of guides speaking to you, giving you information. You don't have to know what they're saying in that, that high frequency buzz. You just need to trust and know that, okay, they're putting something into me that's going to come to the surface, that when I need to access it, it'll be there. So it's a very spiritual month, even when we're doing a lot of, I want to say, the dishes and laundry and the travel and the fun and the 3D stuff. It's actually going to be very spiritual. So bring awareness to that and you'll do well. OMG.
Right? Yeah, June is always an interesting time because we go into Gemini, and Gemini, of course, is the twins, which is why it's so interesting that you started out by saying the two sides, because that's where we're getting toward the June 20th summer solstice, where summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, winter solstice in the southern hemisphere, the duality. That's the twins that they're talking about when they talk about Gemini. And so what happens is we're on a path with Taurus, and that path splits and we go both ways. We don't choose. We have that inner dialogue with ourselves, and the person that gives you the best advice is yourself, that other side of you that you can ask a question and you can know that it's there. Now, everybody's going to be different. Some people will not trust that advice that they give themselves. They're going to constantly try to compare it to what other people are going to say. Well, what do you think? Well, what do you think? Really, what you're doing is you're trying to compare it to what you think and what you really believe is the next step or what needs to happen. When it comes to Gemini, we're in the part of the body, which is the chest, the heart, the lungs, the things that really keep us alive and make us, keep us alive. And so we went from Aries in the head to Taurus to the throat to Gemini to the, so Aries was fire, which is doing. Taurus is earth, which is planting or building from the ground up. And now we're in air, which is thinking. And so it's a lot of analysis. It's a lot of thought process. A lot of plans are being made. Again, it's like you said, it's our culture around when summer starts, we immediately, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? All this kind of stuff. And that happens internally as well. What am I doing with my life? Who am I? What do I feel about things? What should I be doing? And all of that stuff is to say that, again, your best advice is going to come from within yourself. You're going to maybe compare it with other people, but trust yourself at that time, especially around June 6th, which is the new moon. in June, that's the time to really, it goes full force. And then the solstice around June 20th, or on June 20th and 21st, is when you will notice that shift that Stacey was just talking about in full blown force. That's when you're going to feel it. And then we go into Cancer, which is more, it's water, it's feeling, it's emotion, it's intuition. So once you get that confirmation from yourself in your head, that's when you can let it go into the rest of your body and start feeling your way. And that's the beauty of Gemini, is that you can, anything is possible, and everything is going to be an analysis and a thought process. So just keep that in mind. If you start thinking a lot about things and figuring things out, that's normal, because our planet is tilting and shifting and allowing you to kind of tilt and shift within yourself.
I love that. You know, I just keep seeing, like, if you're at the beach and you're having a little vacation, what a perfect time to do some thinking while you're at the beach, because the ocean or water in general will cleanse and clear what is no longer serving you, so that your thoughts are going to be very pure. It's actually going to be a really amazing time to do some thinking, to do some planning about what you're going to be intentional about bringing into your world in the following quarter. So I think that's great. And for, you know, good point. For those of you who are watching us, I have a lot of Australian peeps that are on the other hemisphere. You guys are kind of in that wind down space where we're winding up. You're in that wind down space. And so that's also a good time to be giving thought to things. It's more of a review energy, where you're reviewing what has sort of transpired, but it's the same kind of idea. I'm reviewing that so that I know what I want to put my focus to moving forward. So I love that. Mr. Neo is really presence known today. He's like, listen, I want to, we got 2 affirmations today.
Oh, cool.
All right. So our first sweet ass affirmation is, and this is for our quarter. So, you know, whatever we're dealing with this quarter, April, May, and June, you can lean into this for some support. As I seize my moments, they are mine forever. Oh, I love this. It's kind of like what we've been talking about, bringing it in, right? Yeah. Understanding it's the presence. So does life ever feel out of control? You wake up and realize you're trading your time doing things you don't really care about so you can make money and buy things you don't really need to impress a bunch of goobers you don't even like. How will that change if you reclaim your power and repurpose your energy to support your passions, purpose, and all that excites you? When you seize the moment, it's yours forever. If it makes you smile, it's worth the endeavor. And you're going to love it.
And you know what's funny? Passion, purpose, and all you desire. That sounds like Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Passion, purpose, and all you desire.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that's why this one flung out, because there were 2 that flung out. And what I think is interesting too, both of these cards, I'm going to tell you what the second affirmation is, but both of these cards are black and white. There aren't very many black and white cards in this deck. It's actually a very colorful deck. So I think that's important too. And what I keep hearing is it's up to us to add the color.
Mm-hmm.
Like bring your own lives, what color do we want to bring into this life? You're going to love this one, Dwayne, because it's reflective of something that you were talking about earlier. I can't remember if it was in May or if it was in June. As I love and respect myself, I radiate love to all others. So love flows to you and through you at all times, filling all of your unique little wrinkles, curves, organs, senses, bones, tissues, joints, wings, energies, and private party parts with harmony, illumination, and zest. Love yourself like you loved that tiny little creature you rescued when you were 7. As you discover and appreciate the love within yourself, you radiate infinite love to everyone else. They need it more than you know.
You know what? That sounds like that meteor shower. That sounds like the perfect time to really focus on that thought, is during that meteor shower, and understanding how we're all connected and how we're all there with each other and for each other, whether we like it or not.
Well, and the one that the phrase that's standing out to me is they need it more than you know. And we were talking about how, I think it was in in the Aries, we
Yeah.
need to really make sure that we're paying attention to the rest of the world and not just us.
Yeah.
What the others around me need and require, because we're all one and we're all connected.
Yeah.
So yeah, super, super powerful. So as I seize my moments, they are mine forever. As I love and respect myself, I radiate love to all others.
Love it.
Oh my goodness, Dwayne. High five. Woo-hoo. I love it. Well, that is our tarot and astrology mashup for this second quarter of 2024. Dwayne, you have so many exciting things coming up. Please share with everybody the exciting news that you have.
Yeah, well, so my website, DwayneLive.com, is up and always available to get information and always being updated constantly to try to make it better. I have new products coming out, fragrances from my fragrance company, Lavender Rose, which was created after the passing of my mother in her honor, and it has totally grown. And I see her, my mom, in this kind of heaven office with this corporate outfit on, kind of playing the corporate game of this company and making it work. It's crazy the things that have happened since we started in the beginning of 2023. And this year, during the solstice of the spring solstice, we're going to launch our Elements line of fragrances, which is 4 fragrances for each sign. So earth, air, water, and fire. Each one will have its own fragrance, and those will be available for everybody. It's going to be so exciting. We're developing the final fragrances now, and that's going to be great. I do have my readings as well. I do my astrological readings, and also stand-up comedy and hosting throughout the year. So that's all on DwayneLive.com, and I hope that anybody and everybody can check out one or all of those things, because it's really fun, and it's been amazing to make all these things happen, especially this year. It's like, for some reason, I feel like this is the first year of a lot of great things happening, like for the next 5 years.
Yeah, we're setting ourselves up for, it's kind of like this is the first year where everybody's going to kind of really bloom, blossom, and grow.
Yeah, because isn't this the first year where you feel like the pandemic is really out of the way? Like,
yeah.
You know, I feel like we needed that to pull us in and to keep us away from each other. And now we've slowly been coming back to each other. And now it's just going in every direction. And we're away from that fear, that worry, that health scare, and all of that kind of stuff. And now we're going into, how do we make life really good? Because now we realize if you don't have anywhere to go or anything to do or anybody to do it with, life sucks.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great reset and I want to say a wake-up call for a lot of people.
Yeah,
so.
And look at just the way that Zoom works and everything. Look at all the money and time that's being saved by so many millions of people now that used to have to drive somewhere or spend time in person somewhere, which, I mean, you know, it's still good to be in person, but now that you can do it this way, it's amazing.
Exactly. It's fabulous. You know, we're helping the environment better. We're being more conscious about that. We're saving a lot of time and energy for ourselves so that we have more time. It's work-life balance. We have more time to be with other people. Yeah. I feel like it's really been good on a number of levels. Not the lost part, you know, obviously, like you said earlier, silver lining. But yeah, we have the opportunity. We're co-creators, so we can choose to make the lemonade out of the lemons if we desire to do it. So I love that. I can't wait to get I'm Virgo Sun, Gemini Moon, and Libra Rising. So I can't wait to get my elements to see what it is. And I just love fire signs as well. So I'll probably pick up a fire sign just to see what it's like, because I'm all about the fire and the passion. So, and of course, I'm Stacey, the Black Feather Intuitive. I'm going to put all of my stuff in the link below if you're looking for readings, if you're looking for clarity, if you're looking for help through your transformations. I've got so much available to you. I've got Phoenix Journeys. I've got an Ignite Your Wings membership that can support you throughout it. We can do some, one-on-one sessions to bring you some clarity. So it's all there. I'll put the link in the description below. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us. We look forward to seeing you for the third quarter. And in the meantime, really embrace this time, April, May, and June. It's going to be an amazing time of self-reflection, self-growth, and connectivity with those that you love. Transform well. We'll see you guys later. Take care.